Massachusetts is a state of much history and many mysteries, dating before the foundation of our great nation into the current day. But one creature, which was only seen within a 24-hour window, has managed to elude the residents of Dover nearly 50 years later, as if it vanished into thin air. Welcome to Cryptid Corner, the series all things cryptids, and today we are going to look into the Dover Demon. The Dover Demon is a humanoid cryptid that is only known from 3 sightings, all over the course of 2 nights in Dover, Massachusetts, a small town south of Boston. Despite this, the Dover Demon is a rather well-known cryptid due to its appearance, the bizarre nature of the sightings, and probably due to its name being an amazing use of alliteration. All accounts describe the creature as being a small humanoid figure with a small body, very tiny neck, and an extremely large head, often noting that the head is impossibly large for such a small neck and torso. Also, unsettlingly, the creature has no visible mouth or ears. Only the eyes are visible on this creature's enormous smooth head. The Dover Demon has smooth tan skin and large eyes, which seem to be the only point of contention amongst the reports, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Additionally, it appears to move on all fours, probably due to how large its head is. The first sighting of the creature was by William Bartlett, who was driving home from a party with his friends on the night of April 21st, 1977. The group would drive down Farm Street around 10:30 when William would spot what he thought to be a small pet on the side of the road. But as he got closer, he would instead see it as a humanoid creature with a watermelon-shaped head that stood atop a broken stone wall with long limbs that gripped the rocks with long fingers. The creature was hairless with rough textured skin, and stared back into the headlights with large glassy eyes that shined a yellow into the car's headlights. The creature seemed startled by the car, but William was also struck, quickly asking if the passengers saw the creature, but to his annoyance, they seemingly missed it entirely. Once William got home, he would tell his dad about the encounter and would draw what he saw that night. About an hour after William's encounter, a teen named John Baxter would be walking back from his girlfriend's house on Miller Road when John would spot what he thought to be a small child. And as he got closer, the figure darted into the woods, and upon pursuing the creature, he would make out the silhouette of what appeared to be a large monkey with no tail, but instead with a massive head. Coincidentally, Miller Road is very close to Farm Street, even intersecting at a point, and it's at this intersection that John gets a ride and gets the hell out of there. John would also draw what he saw that night, and the next day at school, William would be startled to hear about John's encounter, swearing on a stack of Bibles that he had seen the same creature that very night. And upon sharing their stories and their locations of the sightings, they found that they were only about 2 miles apart. The next night, another high schooler named Abby Brabham would be driving home from a party with her boyfriend on Springdale Avenue when the couple would spot the same creature that William and John had spotted the night prior, being about goat-sized, and the only main different detail being that the creature's eyes were described as glowing green instead of orange in this. This sighting was also not far from the other sightings, with Farm Street and Springdale meeting at a crossroads. These sightings would catch the interest of many UFO and cryptid-related fields, with well-known cryptozoologist Lauren Coleman looking into the case alongside other investigators, along with 3 ufologists, mainly due to it looking like your stereotypical gray alien. Despite the witnesses all being high schoolers going to the same school, investigators found that they were being genuine, and most of the teachers also believed that the students wouldn't make the encounter up, except for one teacher who really seemingly didn't like William. Coleman and the other investigators were baffled, and to this day, the legend of the Dover Demon remains a mystery. Over the years, there have been many explanations behind the identity of the Dover Demon, with everyone trying to piece it together, and given its appearance, you already know which one we gotta start with right now. The gray alien look of the demon and the space sci-fi craze of the 70s, many lump in the Dover Demon with aliens, and some even think that it could be an alien. Many point out the lack of any lights in the sky or a nearby craft, but With how long it would take a UFO to travel across space to get to Earth, can you blame bro for going out on a walk? Others also imagined that the demon could have been some sort of science experiment gone wrong with a creature escaping a nearby lab, or even an actual demon from hell that sought out to troll high schoolers who were out too late. But several animals have also been suggested to be the Dover demon, and the most interesting candidate being a baby moose. At first, it might seem like a very odd guess, but moose calves can be pretty awkward looking with their really long legs and little bodies, along with their big old heads. Given the encounters on the road were extremely brief, only lasting a few seconds, details could very easily be skewed, with the eyes being the calf's big ol' ears, and the fingers being plants that were stuck to its hooves. Moose are also capable of rearing up on their hind legs, which also could explain the silhouette that John saw. As interesting as this explanation may sound, moose were considered extinct in the state of Massachusetts until they began to return in the 80s, and even then, Dover is not within the moose's range, even in modern times. Additionally, you would think that the mama moose would be somewhere nearby. This mainly works against the theory, but then again, a family of moose that wandered out of its known range could have caught these scenes off guard, and I think it's entirely plausible, so I wouldn't count it out entirely. Foals and other cow-calves have also been recommended as substitutes, as foals have the awkward, long-legged look, and calves have those big ol' ears and large heads. The orange and green shine coming from the lights could have also been due to the ear tags reflecting light back from the car's headlights. An animal that I could definitely see as a culprit is a black bear with mange, with the body shape, large head, and even the big ol' ears to mistake the heads with to boot. It would also easily explain John Baxter's sighting, where it stood up on its hind legs. And like with many other cryptid cases, some have theorized that the Dover demon could have been an owl, the king of misidentified animals. Skeptic Joe Nickel theorized that the Dover demon could have been one or maybe two snow owls, as the headlights from the cars would have given the owl a peachy-like coloration due to it having a yellow type of shine, which would have given it an orange-like appearance. And the long fingers could have just been its wings and its feathers all spread out. Or it could have just been two owls getting freaky. You don't know. Owls mate for life, I'm pretty sure. But given the short time span of the sightings and the fact that the demon was only seen by high schoolers that went to the same school, you can probably see why a lot of people think that the Dover demon case was a hoax. I mean, think about it. You're a high schooler in the 70s, living in a small town. It would be so easy to get a hoax going, just for the hell of it. And I mean, it's definitely something that you would do when you had nothing to do coming back from a party, especially when you gotta wait a whole month for Star Wars to come out. The Dover demon was a creature seldom seen. For its 24-hour stay in Dover, it made quite the name for itself, being referenced in cryptid and alien media for years to come. Be it an alien, a mangy bear, some owls, a baby moose, foal, or calf, or even a naked ground sloth, nobody can properly identify the demon nearly 50 years later, although I feel like the mangy bear theory makes the most sense. Maybe the ground sloth. To this day, only 4 people saw the Dover demon. Thousands of people who are interested in what goes bump in the night will keep scratching their heads, wondering just what those kids saw that night all those years ago. And now, here you are with them, scratching your head right along with them. And that is going to do it for the Dover Demon. I'm really surprised there wasn't that much on the Dover Demon. The Dover Demon is a cryptid that I definitely loved as a kid. It was one well, that makes it sound like it was like a character that I liked, but it was kind of cool. It was very weird. It's so unique. I really liked it. It was one of those cryptids that helped get me into cryptozoology, along with like chupacabras and stuff like that. It's just a classic vintage cryptid. And I'm really surprised there wasn't more on it, like somebody else didn't try coming out with like Dover demon footprints or something. You know, it was literally just that one 24-hour period, those 2 nights, all those years ago. And that was that. I just kinda like the simplicity of that. And it's just so strange. Just look at it. He looks like Squidward. I should have probably mentioned in the video he looks like Squidward. But what did you think about the Dover Demon? Did you think that the Dover Demon was a mangy bear? I personally feel like that's the most likely theory. Do you think it was a moose from out of town? Do you think it was a ground sloth who came out of the ground who was bored? Or do you think it was an alien? Do you think it's something not of this world? Or maybe something not of this dimension? Make sure to comment down below what you have to think. I always love reading for your comments, the jokes, the suggestions, what you think it is. I always love reading it. Always have a good time seeing what y'all like. If you like this video, make sure to leave a like. Again, comment down below what you thought about it. If you like this content, subscribe. And if you really like this content, make sure to become a member. You get these videos a little bit early, and it always helps out. So, with that, I'm going to say toodaloo and have yourself a good one.